What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Draper J, aka Brother Ballhead, aka the Mustache Menace, aka Mr. Brown Sipper. And I'm back like Stephen A. Hairline. Here to hit you with another episode of Monday Night Mafia. This is all about the Bills. As I said once before, my name is Draper J. You can call me Draper J, Draper Jackson. You know, I've been called worse. But hope you're tuning in. Hope your day is going great without no obstacles, no disruptions. Uh First, before I get into my bag on as far as like what we may need to do as far as like free agency, draft, and all things of that nature. Excuse me. Before I get into that, what do y'all think about the Super Bowl? What I took away from that game is the Bucks showed us that our game plan wasn't bad. We just didn't have the right pieces in play. Because if you think about it, if you're dropping everybody back, then you have some dogs on the defensive line that's going to constantly keep pressure. I mean, Pat Mahomes running for his life the whole game. He didn't have a time just really to sit back there and be comfortable in the pocket. So I think they showed us that if we just have dogs on that line, we can, overcome the obstacle, which is the Kansas City Chiefs, who are going to be in our way, and they're not going anywhere. It's not like Tom Brady. He's not going to retire anytime soon. So we're gonna have to go through them. We can't go around them, anything like that. So here is one of the things that we all know we need to do with the cap situation coming up next season. Is clear up cap space. All right, now I did my research as far as I checked out Spot Track, did all those things, and I came up with some of the guys who are going to be free agents next year, and some of the guys who I think we might just need to go ahead cut bait on, or who knows? I mean, they may can probably restructure some of these guys' contract, put an extra year on the end, put some of their money to the back end, so we can free up some money so we can actually get athletes in this year's free agency. And there's some that's out there that a lot of people aren't talking about, but I believe will fit our scheme. Now, first, we need to. I think we need to go after a backup quarterback. A backup quarterback is more than just a cheerleader. That's what Barkley has been giving us. Every time he touches the field, I don't know about any of y'all, but me myself personally, I feel like the offense is gonna go down here. I don't know, does he still have it or what? I mean, having a good circle around you as far as a young quarterback, which Josh is, he does need someone who's gonna always keep him up, keep him hype. But now, I mean, you got Ken Dorsey. That's what Ken Dorsey is for. That's what Brian Dable himself is for. Excuse me. Let me get a little water in me. All right. Let me get into one of these comments. I see my guy. Killer Cam Crow, aka Mr. Shirt Sucks. Appreciate that, my guy. Digging the fit. Built in Buffalo to the flow, you know. All right, now these names I'm gonna throw out, I feel like could be pretty decent backups, if not mid-level starters, if something were to, fingers crossed, something were to happen to Josh Allen. My first one, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. No on Spot Track to have his market value at what, 6.8 a year. Peanuts. Peanuts, right? Jacoby Brissett, Mitch Trubisky, 8.3 a year. I don't feel too comfortable with 8.3 per year as far as those guys. I mean, that's like mid-level starter money. And I think at this point in the career, both of those guys are pretty much like backups. Somebody who can step in 3-4 games if you need be, and the wheels won't fall all the way off. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Appreciate that, Cam. My guy. Sharing like crazy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And if you're tuning in on Facebook for the first time, you're rocking with me, let's make sure we share alike. Share. Tell a friend to tell a friend all about the business, and let's make this thing trend. If you're watching me over on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, hit that like button, subscribe, and people's elbow that notification button, that notification bell, so when I drop, you'll be up to date on my latest content. All right. Now, let's get to some of those names that I stated that we if we clear these contracts off our books, because some of these guys really didn't give us too much. We had expectations for them, but they didn't do too much this season. All right, let's go to the free agents first. You got John Brown, Jerry Hughes, Trent Murphy, Tyler Croft, Josh Norman, John Brown. Hey, don't everybody at me at once. Don't everybody get upset. But I love me some John Brown. He's very pivotal into what we've done in the last few seasons to get where we're at. But you're not able to be on the field. Then going to this next season, John Brown is going to be 31, 32. Who knows how long he can keep that speed? Now, don't get me wrong, he does take a lot of pressure when he's in the game as a number 2 away from Stephon Diggs. But like I said, he's 31, going to be 32 maybe in this next season. How long can he keep this up? And can he stay healthy? This season, he was in and out of the lineup. And let's not forget, we still got Cole Beasley on contract. We still have Gabe Davis. Big grab Gabe. He showed us that he can probably step in and play big for us. But that's one of the guys I think we might need to just like, you know what, we're just going to cut bait on. And let's move over to Trent Murphy. I mean, come on now. Trent Murphy was a healthy scratch for I don't know how many games this season. He gave us nothing. And when he was in the game, I forgot he was there. Now, let's get into some of this money that we actually spent on this D-line. Guys like Mario Addison, Quentin Jefferson, Vernon Butler. Where were those guys a lot of games this year? I saw maybe one game that Mario Addison had a decent game against. It was early in the year, and the rest of the season, I mean, he didn't give us anything. And then, like you said, if you see what the Bucs did against the Chiefs, you have to have a dog defensive line. You got to. How you gonna drop back everybody else and then you ain't getting any pressure up front? And then Pat Mahomes or any quarterback, I can stand back there all day long and find a receiver if nobody's coming, if there's no fear of the rush. So with all those guys I just named, and I'll get into one that's on the bubble, that's a fan favorite. But with all those guys I just named, it's freeing up, and I did the numbers, it freed up maybe 68.5 million. Now, that number may sound absurd. It may be correct. It may not be, no matter, I mean, because you got to understand, we're fans. This isn't Madden we're playing. So it supposedly frees up that much money. But we'll be realistic. We'll say if we do that and let some of these guys walk and test the free agent market, let's just say 45 million-ish, right? And let me jump into Matt Milano. Let me get this down. Let me jump to Matt Milano. As Brandon Beane stated in his end-of-year press conference, that Matt has, earned the right to test free agency. Same thing he said about Jordan Phillips, and I want to say Shaq Lawson. Somebody correct me if it wasn't Shaq. I believe he said that about Jordan Phillips. But as I was looking over on Spot Track, and I was just checking out the free agents that will be out there as far as outside linebacker. It's a name that jumped out there that I haven't heard anyone mention. If anybody mentioned it, let me know where you saw this at, if you didn't see it here first. But anyway, all right, now I checked out on Spot Track. Matt Milano was looking at market value, 13.8 a year. He's looking at a contract of 3 years, 41.4 million. Now, I saw this other individual that I think can bring the same dimension to our defense, and it's Hassan Reddick. Now, it all depends on what Hassan wants to do in this offseason. Now that we're a winning team, we're one game away from the Super Bowl, there could be a draw for a lot of free agents. Then we're showing that we have culture, we have a great locker room that can keep everybody together through the thick and thin. Like when we had that fair Mary, they could have just tore our whole season apart. But we rallied around it and won our way out. Now, but back to what the subject at hand. Now, Hassan Reddick, he's looking at garnering 11.6 a year, looking at a contract of 4 years, 46.4. Now, if we do free up some money to where we can play around with around 40, 50, maybe even if it is even that 68.5 that I stated earlier, we can sign a guy like this. I'm not comfortable with us paying Matt Milano because he's had injury concern from year in, year out. When he's in the lineup, okay, we got he does his thing. But the best ability in any sport is availability. If we can't depend on you if you're on the sideline hurt, I was in the training room. Now, he may go out there sign another contract for his next team, or if he does come back on a decent contract for us, he may ball out, may not miss another game. But I think if we go get somebody like Hassan Reddick, somebody who can play outside linebacker, can play rover, can blitz the quarterback, can step out there in coverage, that brings another dimension that I think we need. I mean, that brings another dimension that we need on our defense. And it's the same type of production that we will be getting out of Matt Milano. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think over in the comment section. Let me see. All right. Y'all tell me what y'all think. If Hassan Reddick, do you think he'll be a good fit here? Do you think we can get him on a contract that's team friendly, and also they'll give him a nice little pay upgrade? Tell me. I mean, if you just look at the Bucs game, you had, the Chiefs in the Super Bowl against the Bucs, rather. They had Levante David. He holding Travis Kelce one-on-one. No problem. Of course, yeah, he got, 10 catches or so, 100-some yards. That was kind of like all in the second half. A lot of prevent defense. The defensive line was getting pressure, so they really didn't need to bring anyone extra. You got Devin Bush all over the field, sideline to sideline. I think I seen somewhere earlier that he had like maybe 12 tackles and all kind. He just stuffed the stat sheet. Tremaine Edmonds, you're gonna have to be looking. Hey, that's the type of play we need out of you. It can't be none of this pity patting, scared to tackle. You're gonna have to go ahead and be a dog. This is the year. This is make or break. This is your contract year as well, I believe we're going into. All right. Now, let me move into the next position. All right. Motor and Mouse. Like I stated in my last show, I don't know whether it was the offensive line that they didn't trust as far as like the running the ball scheme or whatever, or we were missing a veteran presence back there. We had two young running backs. I think it's just because they don't trust Motor. Mouse isn't ready. I give him the rookie curve, no preseason. Which really, like I said before, when you're drafted in the league and they put you on the field, you got to make the most out of those reps. But I looked over and I checked out like a couple of running backs that may be out there that are coming out very minimal contracts that I think that we could probably lure over if we free up a little cap money. But these numbers are something that I kind of came up with myself. They might not actually be the real numbers. These guys might want to go somewhere and break the bank. But I'm operating on this show as far as like some of the free agents that we might get, as if they're looking at the culture over here. They're looking at this as a championship, a team away, a game away from being in the championship. A winning team, got a good quarterback, a young quarterback on the rise. Now, let me get into a couple of names, and then I get into one of my draft prospects that I checked out at the recent Senior Bowl. All right, Matt Breida. He's just coming off a contract of maybe 2 years, $10 million. Well, no, he was just coming off maybe I think a 1 year contract with the Dolphins. But my numbers is 2 years, $10 million, 2 years, $15 million. That should be peanuts if we can get him for that number. Now, who knows what these guys want in the offseason? They want that bag. So this might not be the place for you. But the next guy, Jamal Williams, both of these two running backs, by the way, are running backs that have shared the field with other running backs. So Motor and Mouse don't have to go away. There's no way they have to go away. But what I'm just saying, we need somebody who is known or can carry the load. Another thing I'm asking for my running backs is give us 4 yards of carry, take the pressure off Josh. Now Jamal Williams, he coming off a contract of maybe $3 million a year or so. And then I did my numbers. Hopefully that we can get him for this. Maybe 4 years, 16, 4 years, 20 million. But it's just like I said, I state once again, it just depends on what they want. Do they want that bag, or do they want to go to a team to help contribute and win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Now, let me thumb through my notes. Let me get over to my scouting. All right, now, there's one prospect I seen the Reese's Senior Bowl here, a couple of weeks ago now, maybe 2 weekends ago. It's Michael Carter, the running back out of the University of North Carolina. All right, now, what I saw of Mike, he runs hard. He's very shifty, catches well out the backfield, and he has some game breaker or game changing abilities. He never gives up. His legs are always moving. Now, I don't know what his 40 time may be. I'm gonna keep an eye out for it. This is one of my guys on my watch list that I'm looking forward to, maybe seeing how he progresses through pro days. I don't think they're gonna have the thing they do in Indianapolis every year. I'm at a loss for words, but I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do that. So we're gonna have to wait and see what goes on, and we're gonna wait to see what goes on as far as like pro days. Let me get into some of the comments. My guy Bill Klinsky. Excuse me if I butcher the name. He says, agreed. Milano hurt too much. Let him go. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Appreciate that. Combine. There we go. Yeah. Hey, it's always good when Bills fans come together. We help each other out. But yeah, at the combine. But yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, we got just let Milano go ahead and test the water, see what's out there. I believe somebody's gonna pay him. But no, I think if we're gonna go that route, we need athletes. We need to go to Hassan Riddick. At least bring him in for a cup of coffee. All right, now back to Michael Carter. Now I don't know how fast he may be, but I seen at the Senior Bowl and I've seen some of his highlights that he runs hard. I mean, you need somebody who's gonna run, hit the hole, go. You don't need nobody back there dancing, bouncing around. You dance once you get past the line of scrimmage. That's always been the rule of thumb for the running back. All that dancing going east and west, that's not gonna help you. You need somebody that's gonna hit the hole, go on about his business. All right. So that's that position there. I think Matt Breida, Jamal Williams, Michael Carter. Now I haven't went into depth on any other position. I mean, any other more running backs as far as like at the position. I will be doing so later in my shows. But y'all tell me what y'all think. What y'all think about Matt Breida? What y'all think about Jamal Williams? What y'all think about if y'all haven't seen any footage on Michael Carter, University of North Carolina running back, check him out. Tell me what you think. All right, let me move along to my next one, my next subject, my next position rather. Wide receivers. And this guy right here. I know some of y'all may be like Cordell Patterson. He isn't this, he isn't that. I understand that. But you got to think about it. Isaiah McKenzie he may possibly be a free agent this year. And Andre Roberts, hey, I'm about to that point where we might need to go ahead and cut bait. I mean, it's good to get field position. All that is cool. All that is gravy. But we need somebody who can take one to the house at least twice a year, 2 or 3 times out the year. Flip the field for us more than once. Not to say Andre Roberts couldn't do that, but he hasn't returned one in a minute. And a guy like Cordell Patterson, he brings a lot of other dimensions that Dable loves to do in his offense. He brings that he can be a receiver. He can give us something at the receiver end. He can return kicks. Very sure hand on returning kicks and punts. So that covers that. He also covers that gadgetry that Dable likes to incorporate in our offense. You know what I'm talking about? So if you got somebody who can do those jet sweeps, do those motions, give the defense that eye candy, because you got to, somebody like that who still has that speed, you got to make sure you know what he is on the field. And then we get someone like Cordell Patterson. Bring him in, like I said, on Spot Track. I checked out his last contract. He just finished up 2 years, $10 million, 5 a year. and he's at that point in his career. If he pretty much wants to win. So I mean, that culture and everything we have over here, just come on over to Buffalo. We got all that, and we will use you more of like our Swiss Army knife. All right. Let me talk for a second. Let me get some water. All right. All right, now. Y'all tell me what y'all think as far as like Cordell Patterson. I think he will add that dimension. And then if you're gonna have two guys holding up two roster spots, now we can bring up a Duke Williams. Now we can bring up Isaiah Hodgins and see what he brings to the table as far as like our offense. Because we didn't even get a chance to even see what he did, what he could do this season, being on the IR. And I'm not sure. I believe they protected him. He was one of the protected ones on the practice squad. Now we can bring up guys like that. Now we can bring up an extra corner or somebody else. Now we don't have two spots here down because one is a return and one's a gadget guy. We have both of those in one player. And now I did a little scouting as far as like on the receiving tip. And like I said, these two guys were in the recent Senior Bowl too, what made me, go out there and check out a little of the highlights and see what they really look like. You got Shy Smith out of University of North Carolina. And you got Amari Rogers out of University of Clemson. All right, first was Shy. He showed me he's very athletic, jump ball for his size, jump ball red zone target. He has great hands. Only thing I seen out of him that was like maybe kind of iffy, and then we were trying to get this run game together. He doesn't block well. He doesn't like out there on the perimeter. He just goes through the motion. But he can play slot. He can't play outside. He can be a steal as far as that. Now, things like not being able to block on run plays, those can be coached out of you. Though good coaching, I believe we had a great, good coaching staff, good position, coaches on staff now that can help get rid of some of those bad habits. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Have y'all ever heard of Shy Smith at University of North Carolina? Let me go in the comment section. Let me see. Bill Klinsky. Excuse me if I'm gonna call you Brother Bill. not to be no relation to the guy that's all over Twitter. Brother Bill says McKenzie should be kept. I mean, I wouldn't be miffed if we kept him, but who knows? Who knows how free agency plays out? Who knows if these guys want to go out there and test the market and go get their bag, get their money? I don't hate on that. But I think if we got Cordell Patterson, that will solve a couple issues as far as like receiving wise. We can use him. He could be on the field always, and he'll always be at least a decoy. But let me move on over to my next draft prospect. Like I stated, Amari Rogers. Amari, he shows that he's very quick. He's a good route runner, and he also can return kicks. Good hands. And these two, Shy Smith and Amari, I'm banking on these guys. Like, say, okay, John Brown is in there. We have somebody with speed that we can place in day one. See what they got, or like Cole Beasley, he isn't getting any younger. We need somebody who's going to be able to be their safety blanket slot guy. And these guys here show what I've seen that they can be those type of threats. Amari Rogers, he plays bigger than his size. I think he had like maybe 70-something catches, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. And he, like I said, being able to return kicks with all that speed, I seen him, them giving the ball to him like on bubble screens and quick slants, and he's taking it all the way to the house. You need that game-changing speed. To me, he kind of is like maybe a poor man's Tyreek. He may be a little bit shorter, maybe same height, but I think he could be like a Tyreek Hill in our offense. That if we get him the ball, if we don't get a Cordell Patterson, say if we don't get Isaiah back, I think we could place him in some of that gadgetry. And I know they don't want to trust a rookie with kick returns, but you never know. You got to put him out there to see. Y'all tell me what y'all think about Amari Rogers. I think Amari Rogers, Shy Smith, and man, by the way, this is just the beginning of my my draft prospects. So I'm gonna be doing more and more and more. So I'll be on the lookout for more receivers going down the line. And these guys I think maybe could fall to somewhere in the draft. All right. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Amari Rodgers. Go check him out if you don't know who I'm talking about. And then y'all let me know. All right, next. All right, I want to talk about this. The Saints are 70 million over the cap. We all know that. Just recently, Drew Brees just, re-signed or redid his contract to where he gets the league minimum, gives them back 24 million, and hats off and salute to him. And then some people are thinking that he's actually gonna come back and play on. No, he's not. It's over. Now, if he was gonna come back, he was gonna probably take maybe a lesser contract, maybe by about 10 million or so. But he wasn't gonna take 1 million for one season. And this is my dark horse team that we can kind of, pick their roster, see if we can kind of get some of those guys over here. But these may be long shots. Let me throw these names out there. These are some of the bigger contracts that are still on their roster as of right now. You got Cam Jordan, 5 years, 52 million. You got Alvin Kamara, 5 years, 75 million. You got Mike Thomas, 5 years, 96.25. Now, these guys are very loyal to the team. True that. You know what I'm saying? So some of these two out of that three may come back reconstruction, but somebody is gonna want to go ahead and get their money. No matter what the Saints have to do to keep these guys, or they maybe can keep all three. Everybody might want to come back out of that three and restructure and stay on the team, see if they can build something, no matter what quarterback they have in place. But I kind of think at least one of them is going to want to break camp, go somewhere where they can get their money. And then, no Drew Brees, so that might mean that might just be a mediocre team unless another Drew Brees just falls in the lap. Unless Jameis Winston is the next coming of Steve Young. You know what I'm saying? Unless Jameis Winston, that's my boy from FSU, Florida State fan all day long. But if Jameis isn't that guy, then they're just stuck. So they're either going to have to do one or two things with these three guys if they're not happy with their current situation. They're going to have to trade them or cut them. Either way, they're going to have to pay them. They're going to have dead money they're going to have to pay. And then if we can get our hands on them, if we can get them to come in and just sit down and talk, my folks say ain't nothing wrong with just sitting down and talking now. Let's see what you're talking about. Now, if we can get them to come in and just talk, we can get them a smaller contract. We can give them any one of them maybe 8-9 a year because they're still getting paid from New Orleans. They're going to have to eat those two contracts. But I won't get too deep into that, saying that that's going to be the recipe or blueprint we can get them. Who knows what may happen? I'm quite sure they have a GM that can think numbers way better than I can. They can make it work. But that's just something to kind of think about. What y'all think? Do you think we can get a Cam Jordan? I mean, we need somebody who's a dog on the defensive line. We need a running back, Alvin Kamara, Mike Thomas. Can we get him in here to be like that number, that 1A or 1B to Stephon Diggs? Somebody who can be kind of like that over the middle guy, short route runner. That can help Josh take that next step. What y'all think? Tell me what y'all think in the comments on that. Do you think we can poach anybody off their roster as far as one of those three guys? My guy, Jared Reed, what's up with you? Appreciate you for checking in. Let me get into these comments. Jared Reed says this year, this is a fun time of year. Go Bills, and I agree with you. Offseason is always fun. A lot of people, maybe the casual football fans, they may look at it like, okay, the football season is over with. It's nothing else to talk about. It's nothing else to see. Nah, that's not true. The fun is just beginning. When March kicks off that opening, that new year, as far as like the fiscal year for the new season, anything can happen. Mediocre teams could become better teams, and teams in our situation who are good teams striving to be great can be great. We can find some of those guys that we're looking for that maybe can help us. All right, let me get to some of these comments. Comments starting to come in a little bit. Jerry Reed, the big selling point is we played in the AFC Championship game last year. We out here we are missing a piece. Maybe someone will bite. Of course. I mean, you always can find somebody that can bite off that. That's a selling point alone. Move one game away. If you like say with the Saints, or if anybody want to come from over there or anywhere else, just come on in, talk to us. Move one game away. Yeah, you see that our quarterback, he's on the up, he's on the incline. He's a rising star. It just depends on what some of these guys want. Do they want the bag? Which a lot of these guys go chase the bag when they, and honestly, if you think about it, when they go chase that bag, get big boy contracts, they never see that whole contract anyway. They may, if they sign for 6 years, they may see 4 years, and the other 2, they just get cut, and then they have to sign on somewhere else for a discounted price. You know what I'm talking about? So let me get into these comments again. What was it? My guy Adam Faber. And excuse me if I'm butchering you guys' names. You know, I'm from the South. I have a Southern accent, so I might not be able to say your name the best. All right, maybe Jordan, but the other 2, no shots. I can dig that. I can dig we get Cam Jordan in here. What y'all think? I can dig that. Either him or let's see what we can do with JJ Watt. Same thing. If they had to trade or cut him, they had to pay him so much, and then we pay him. Hey, we know. Bean has always been known to say if a player comes here in any kind of stature and he's liked and well known, he'll pay you. He'll give you a little bit more, knowing that the other team's still picking up the tab, just like with Stephon Diggs. They're still gonna be picking up the tab on Stephon Diggs at least by 5 or 6 million for the next 3 years. So I think that could be something to look at moving forward. All right. All right, let me get one more comment in. Jordan Reed. He said he loved the Jordan idea. Jerry Reed, sorry. He loved the Jordan idea. I mean, you know, it's just something we just talking. We just, you know, that's why I made this whole all about the Bills for. Just open dialogue back and forth again for the fan. Some we can have open dialogue because, you know, it was like for a long time, it was a lot of hate everywhere else. Why not come here? Why not find in any other podcast content provider or whatever that's doing this? Just come and find you a little, you know, little positivity. Excuse me, positivity. Let me get a little bit more water in me. I've been going on for 32 minutes here. Only seems like it's been about 10 minutes. Let me get one more. All right. Jerry Reed, great job. I'll be tuning in more often. Go Bills. I most definitely appreciate that. Go Bills. And if you're digging into the content, if you're one of the people that are out there viewing, if you're on Facebook, please share a like. Tell a friend to tell a friend that All About the Bills is in. Let's make this thing trend now. If you're watching this over on YouTube, people's elbow that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you'll be up to date on all the things all about the Bills. All right, now let me get into this next one. Of course, we need a tight end. Hunter Henry. He's going to be a free agent next year. Now, my thing about Hunter Henry, I wouldn't mind. Okay, that 10.9 mil a year. If we free up the money, like I stated earlier, we could get someone like that. Because it was very evident when we played the Chiefs, we needed a tight end. Now, to be real with you, a lot of that underneath stuff was open early. It was open early, but you know, I think Josh was looking for the home run ball. We had Cole Beasley and all that. And you know, I'll get into that in my later shows about how the play calling should have maybe dictated that. And Dable, you're up there in the press box for a reason. You should be able to see all this. Should be able to lay that message down. But we won't get into that. Let's move over to somebody this tight end situation, Hunter Henry. Only thing I'll be really worried about is maybe he probably wants to stay there and keep what he has going with the young quarterback, Justin Herbert. And they just had a new head coach. I don't know. Sometimes new head coaches with certain players that have been there with another coach that might make them want to go ahead, cut bait, leave, and go somewhere else. Now, Hunter Henry, I think, will be very much so worth that $10.9 million. Now, we know Brandon Beane is pretty slick as far as when it comes to those contract situations. We know he's slick. Now, I mean, he can probably give him 3 years or so. Let me see what I have in my notes. Spot Track has what 4,043,700 a year. I mean, over the whole contract. Now, Brandon Bean, he can be slick with those numbers. He can front load it or back load it for those 4 years. But it's evident that we need a tight end in this offense. Now, don't get me wrong, Dawson Knox, got much love for you. Hey, I'm not through, seeing your progression, but we need someone who can actually be somebody who can help move the chains on those short downs, or somebody who can get the ball on 3rd and 8 and pick up those 3 yards, those extra few yards or whatever, 5 out on a 5-yard in route, out route, or whatever. We need somebody like that. And I mean, now in this next one, in my in my draft prospect, this guy, they put in I want to say my guy A Rich put it in our chat. Pat Frymuth from Penn State. Now, I haven't really checked out much of Penn State. Well, I'm from the South. We watch a lot of SEC, and I'm a Florida State fan, so I check out my squad, of course. But when I saw this guy, I was kind of blown away about. Damn, how he's not being talked about, but he's up there with the Kyle Pitts. I forgot the other guy that was just real big on first before it was Kyle Pitts and Pat Frymuth. I think if we need to give him a chance. Let me thumb through my notes. Let me move over. All right, now what I saw with Pat Frymuth was great catch radius. He's big, physical. He's a red zone target, which is what we need. I think some of those times that we were in the red zone, we had to get kind of creative, like with bubble screens out to Stephon did. We didn't really have anybody that was a jump ball getter. Or if we throw it to Gabe Davis, he's in the back of the end zone because they schemed him some kind of way. He's wide open. You have no other choice but to catch the ball. And I think day one, Pat Frymuth, let me get these names right. Pat Frymuth would be like a day one fit in our scheme. I think he's what we wanted Dawson Knox to be in our offense. Now, I don't know where they may have him as far as ranked, as far as like what round he'll go in. I'm hoping we can get somebody like him second round. If we got somebody like that, if it isn't another guy on the board that we really in love with, we really like, I say we might need to go after Pat Frymuth. Big target, great hands, red zone. I mean, he's like they dubbed him the baby Gronk. He wears 87. Everybody's the next baby Gronk if they wear 87, right? But that is the offensive side of my free agency and draft show. Let's move over to the defense. Now, like I stated earlier, tell me what y'all think first about Pat Frymuth. Hit me up in the comment section. All right, now Leonard Williams, DN. Now, like I said, we need to get some dogs on that line. Leonard Williams. Let me thumb through my notes. Leonard Williams over on Spot Track. He's looking at 11 a year, 11.2 a year. Looking at a contract, maybe 5 years, 56.2. Now, he's still young. Well, he's 25, he's 26. Somebody who can be here for a minute. Now, I won't be mad at 11 mil a year type of contract out of a guy like that. I mean, he's still young, he still can produce. He's shown where he's disruptive. And then let's even talk about the JJ Watt thing that I touched on just a little bit earlier. And I'm hearing that people are talking about JJ, he's too old, he's too this, he's too that. And that's true. He's on the backside of his career. Now, as I stated in my earlier shows, I'm about ready to get rid of this DN rotation. I mean, the defensive line rotation. But if we don't, and we get our hands on someone, if we can't get a Leonard Williams and a JJ Watt is an option, he would fit in well with that rotation. That means it's not a lot of wear and tear on your legs. They can put him all over the defensive line, and he's going to be disruptive. He's going to give you 110 because his 110 is better than some people's half-assing. You know what I'm saying? His 100% is like double or triple anybody else at 100%. You know what I'm saying? So you can put him on the line, rotate him in and out, give him a little breather. But most definitely, we're gonna need him on those 3rd and longs, those 3rd and 8s, when we need somebody to pin those ears back and go back after the quarterback. Y'all tell me what y'all think about us, either a Leonard Williams, a younger option, someone who can be here longer, maybe they could produce a little something for a while, or maybe just see if we can get our hands on a JJ Watt, see if we can kind of give him a 2-year deal. Hopefully he plays out their whole contract. Now, I wouldn't want to trade if they don't cut him, trade for JJ Watt, and we just break the bank or just give first round. No. Well, I don't want to give him no first round for JJ. Now, it's going to take multiple picks. It's going to take that. But it's not, I wouldn't give up a first round. It's going to, the most I say second, third. Second, that's a little bit too pricey. But it depends on how bad we want to go ahead and get a guy like that in here to go ahead. And he can bring up the level of play. Excuse me. He can bring up the level of play of other players. He can look at a Harrison Phillips and a Ed Oliver and tell them, like, hey, y'all young cats, y'all need to meet me in the backfield every down. I need everything you got out of it. Then say if we do bring back Jerry Hughes, say if we do keep Mario Addison, hey, I need y'all. And he can bring that vibe that Stephon Diggs brought over to the offense, somebody who's going to challenge the other players to be better. Stephon Diggs brought that attitude to our offense. He challenged everybody else to be better around for Josh. Now it's time. I mean, we got enough choir boys. Now, I'm not saying that JJ Watt isn't a character player. He's a good, he's very well respected in the league. But it's time for us to get somebody that's got that dog mentality that's going to challenge everybody else to play better. They know if they half-ass and somebody's going to call them out. And it's going to come straight from the heart. It's not going to be anybody trying to dog anybody, anything like that. You know what I'm talking about? So let me check out these comments. Let me see what y'all think. All right, Adam Faber. I think we should try to go get O.J. Howard from the Bucks. OJ. Now, I don't know about OJ. You know what? I don't know about OJ if he's healthy. It's been too long that we've been trying to wait and see what OJ brings. Now, if we can get him like for maybe league minimum, small peanuts or something like that, then I'll say, yeah, let's go ahead and get him and keep him on the roster. Now, but I say let's go move over and let's find somebody who can get somebody who can get more production. All right, now, Adam, you chiming in, appreciate it. If we draft a tight end, I want Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, okay. I mean, I won't be mad at that. Kyle Pitts, I won't be upset at that. I dig the idea, Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts and Pat Freiermuth, they're like one and the same. But what I saw, Kyle Pitts was more speed. He's kind of like he can be split out more. Pat Freiermuth, I think he could be more in line of what we like to do as far as like a good blocker. Then he can be split out as well. But I won't be upset with Kyle Pitts either. I checked out some of his highlights. I can rock with a Kyle Pitts. All right, now let me move over to. Let me get on to this next one. DN draft prospects. Let me get into this one before I get out of here. Let me see if I can run through them. Let me thumb through my notes. All right, I'm already there. All right, now, what I've seen out of these few right here, I liked LeBron Ray from Alabama, Gregory Russo from Miami, and Carlos Boogie Basham. Now, what I saw out of LeBron Ray is he has a high motor. I haven't seen him use a plethora of moves, only just like maybe bull rushing, but he used the bull rush to set his man up to come inside, and he has. I mean, he doesn't give up. He's a big body. Only thing, like say with somebody like that, does he play every down? I'm not saying that I saw he didn't play every down. We can't have another guy waiting. I mean, we already went down that Bama hole with Marcel Darius. We don't need another guy that looks good in college, but it doesn't translate to the league. And he could be on that, but I mean, we'll never know. I mean, we just need to look at like what what his pro day look like, how fast he is. But he's one of the guys I see if we would to get him later round. I don't know where he's gonna be at. Bama, they're putting players all over the draft, but I seen LeBaron. I keep calling LeBaron LeBron Ray. He's one of them. All right, let's move over to Gregory Russo. I seen he could play multiple positions all over the defensive line. He has a long, lanky frame, kind of like Jason Pierre-Paul. If he doesn't get there, he can knock the ball down, which is what we kind of needed to. We needed something. Like, we couldn't get there against Pat Mahomes. We need somebody who's going to at least be able to have that long frame and knock the ball down. He never quits on the play. No matter if the play is going away from him, and then he stays patient. If the play comes back, he's always ready to make a play. Carlos Boogie Bass. He's a smart player. He showed he has a mean streak. Like I said, we got enough choir boys all over. He isn't afraid of contact. He hits hard. We need somebody like that. He moves. He's very quick off the ball. We need somebody who, like, when that ball snap, he's gone. We need these Cowboy players to at least be put in on our defensive line, because it's time we start grabbing athletes. One thing about these three here, even though I said my concerns about Ray, albeit they're very minor, these guys are athletes, very strong at the point of attack, and they all go after their quarterback. We need someone to go after their quarterback. We need it. We need it. All right. So I've been going on for 46 minutes here. Like I said, if you're over on YouTube, be checking out the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, people's elbow that notification bell, so you can be up to date on all about the Bills content. If you're really rocking with what we're doing over here. And also, if you really want to keep up with anything else that I'm doing, on my social media platforms, you can go to aatb.buzzsprout.com. You can listen to the podcast straight from that interface. You can listen to it from there. I'm also all over Spotify, iHeartRadio, tune in with Alexa, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora. You can catch me on all those platforms if you're really rocking with what I'm doing over here, all about the Bills. And I appreciate everyone who tuned in. So let's make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that all about the Bills is in. Let's make this thing trend. I'm out of here. Go Bills.